Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today we're going to talk about the most eventful month of the year, and that's saying a lot for 2020. And I'm going to be talking about what will be going on this month of November. But before I start, remember to sign up for my free newsletter where you will have all the dates, the times, and even more information that I'm talking about in this video. Everything will be documented and sent to your email address. So sign up for my free newsletter at galacticcenter.org. Now let me dig in here and tell you what we can be expecting this month of November, because it is going to be dramatic. Something really big is about to happen. We have been plagued with coronavirus. This pandemic has closed up everything, changed our lives. This is the most dramatic year we have ever experienced. And there is a lot more to come, if you can imagine that. So let me dig in and get going and tell you all the astrological events that are about to unfold this month and what they mean for us all on a personal and world level, because there is so much to talk about. First of all, we have the elections that are about to happen in the United States on November 3rd. And this is the day that Mercury shifts directions. It goes from retrograde to direct in Libra. And yes, I'm talking about the Vedic sidereal system of astrology. For those of you that do Western tropical astrology, please remember the degrees and placements I'm talking about here are sidereal. That's what we use in Vedic astrology. So with this, Mercury changes directions, going direct. Anytime a planet changes directions, it changes the energy of that planet and whatever it represents. Now, Mercury is all about communications. It deals with connecting people. It deals with voting, because that is a communication that comes under the domain of Mercury. The last time on election day that Mercury went from retrograde to direct on election day was the year of 2000, and it was the Bush and Gore election. We didn't know who the president was for quite some time. Likewise, that will happen again. All of this voting stuff is going to hit the ceiling. Something is about to change with that. And if you think you know who the president is going to be, think again, because we're going to have events that change over and over in this month of November, even December. Let me tell you what else is happening. When we look at the end of this month, November 20th, we have a lunar eclipse. This lunar eclipse is a doozy. It is going to be around 14 degrees of Scorpio, which is within a degree of the fixed star Antares in Scorpio. This is a star of war. Let me warn everyone, there's going to be riots. There's going to be anger, because on November 14th, Mars will change directions from retrograde to direct. And Mars rules anger, frustration, hostility, war. This is a month that I am asking people to lay low, because do not get embroiled in the violence and the anger. It only contributes to negativity. I know a lot of people will want to protest, and they're very angry about what's coming about. And you have a right to protest, but don't contribute to the mass violence and anger that I see coming about. Another thing this month that I think is monumental is the fact of where Rahu and Ketu are in Taurus and Scorpio now. These are the signs that are going to bring around healing. Remember that Rahu and Ketu shifted, Rahu into Taurus, Ketu into Scorpio, around September 19th. And they will be in this sign till March 15th. During this time, there will be a mass healing on the planet, because every time that the nodes have gone through those pivotal points of Gemini and Sagittarius and the nakshatras of Ardra and Mula, we know, if you've been following any of my videos, it always creates a catastrophic event. But every time they shift into Taurus Scorpio, there's a healing of that event. But it does take a year and a half. So Rahu and Ketu are in Taurus Scorpio from September 19th of 2020 till March 15th of 2022. Within that 18 months, massive healing will unveil. Definitely the coronavirus will be over. But I do see by the end of the year major awakenings, and something comes about that will give us a relief, because I actually see, and it doesn't make sense from where we are right now, but I know astrology works, because I see between the months of January through March that things are going to open. People are going to have a sense of freedom. I don't know if it's a vaccine, if it's a cure, if it's a drug, if it's a healing. Something will happen that will give people a sense of having their lives back. You'll see. And that will cause the stock market to go sky high. And every time, I know people say, the stock market's not a good way to determine how the economy is going. But it does represent business. It is one determinant of how businesses are going and the money flow, even though the economy and jobs are something entirely different. But I think all of this is going to start going in the right direction, and that's going to give us our hope back. So it's right around the corner. But before we get to that corner, we have a lot to experience this month, because Neptune, I know Neptune is not used by most Vedic astrologers, but I know it works. As a matter of fact, I just wrote a book about Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, because they have such an incredible effect on the masses, and psychologically, they create the trends that go on globally in this world. So Neptune is going to be at the midpoint of Rahu and Ketu. Neptune is about deception, deceit, denial, disease. All of these things have been coming up. And remember, every time we have an election, everyone becomes so engrossed in their belief systems and anger and polarization. People are moved to finding their rights. And people never, ever like to be lied to. And that's basically what's been going on in the mass media for years, not just now, for years. This is all coming to a head. Neptune at the midpoint of Rahu and Ketu is going to reveal things that we never thought possible. You'll see. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to go over every single one of these transits that are going to wake us all up this month to a new life, a new way. So I'm going to give you all those dates and times. But I do want to get to the point of what I think is happening in this world. What this year of 2020 is waking us up to is healing. And when I say the word healing, I don't necessarily mean physical healing only, but boy, are we having to wake up to that with this coronavirus. This is a disease that has taken a lot of lives. It's changing somewhat, but it's still we're waking up to how do we get healthier? But I believe health starts with the mindset and the emotional body. And that is what we're all waking up to, a massive awareness of what healing truly is. And we're healing the planet in terms of our mental, spiritual, and emotional bodies. This is really, really important because really it's a truth that disease starts in the emotional body when there's angers, when there's fears, when there's all these emotions that are buried deep within our bodies. It creates disease. So because I feel like healing is the most important thing that's coming out of this year, I thought it would be really powerful to find a way to remind everyone how to work on their mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. And that is one of the things that have healed my life have been mantras and affirmations. I'm telling you, when you say an affirmation and you come to believe it, and you get out all the negative chatter in the mind, you destroy that negative thought process that repeats over and over in your mind with the positive thought process. And over time, it takes over and you become that. That is a healing. And I tell you, I have made some amazing transformations in healing in my life through I've used affirmations. Some people can use mantras. I felt like I wanted to know what I was saying to change my mindset, my beliefs, and they work. But you got to say them over and over again so that they replace the negative thinking. And how do you do that? Well, I find that gemstones and jewelry, I feel like gemstones do have a power. But a lot of that power, I want you to remember, you have the power to heal your life. And the way that you can do that is I decided to come up with some new jewelry. As you can see, I'm wearing. This is a mala with turquoise. And this mala now is something you can purchase through my website. This is a mala that I believe in so strongly that when you do your prayers, when you do your affirmations using this mala, you are injecting your energy into it. And every time you look at it, it reminds you to say that affirmation over and over again. This beautiful mala made out of turquoise has a lotus and it has a stone for all of the 7 planets here, which are also relative to the 7 chakras. So that is the power. And also the earrings match with the lotus and the planets and the chakras, the stones there, the 7 planets. What a way to remember and put your power to heal yourself into saying that affirmation, empowering that object with that ability that you have to transform and change your life through saying these affirmations or mantras over and over again. You're putting that power into an inanimate object and it holds power. Remember this, I know so many psychics that would take an object from somebody and they could feel that person, even deceased people, all of their energies, they could feel them and pick them up because those objects hold your energy. So when you do these prayers, mantras, affirmations, it will change your life. So I have some of the other ones on that you can go to my website, purchase them, see them. They're amazing, beautiful reminders of our power, and an affirmation that I have devised to help you change and transform your life will come with each of these pieces. This has the sun and the moon to remember who we are from the divine. And this has the phases of the moon and a moon sign. These have the power to remind you of your power, to empower yourself. So I just wanted to show you, and even there's beautiful malas that you can wear as bracelets. Check it out on my website. But now I want to get into the details of this month, but I just wanted to remind everyone, this is the year of healing. This is what it's all about. I'm here to tell you. So what I'm going to say here is that this month is the turning point of our lives. Okay, that's a lot to say. That's why I wanted some powerful references to help people heal during this time. Now, starting November 3rd, remember, Mercury changes directions. Not only is that going to affect the world and the elections, but you as well. You may change your mind about things because that's exactly what Mercury does. When it changes directions, we change our minds. And everything will change in terms of what's going on in the area of communications. And, you know, Mercury rules mail. So some of the mail, maybe the ballots, the votes will not get in time. And there will be a change from what we think is happening on that day to by the end of the month. So by November 7th, this is going to be when Mars will aspect the Sun by a quincunx. I call it an 8-6 relationship, but this is a very violent relationship. And the Sun is who is in power. So it represents leadership. There will be violence towards the government on this day based on this powerful aspect. And I want to say there can be lots of confusion and misunderstandings. And yes, the government in the US and actually around the world, leaders must be careful. There will be violence projected towards them. Okay. And then by November 12th, this is a very important day, the day that Jupiter and Pluto exactly conjunct. This is enormous. They're going to be at 28 degrees of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign of belief systems. And with Jupiter being in Sagittarius and Mars at this time is in Pisces, Mars reverts to Jupiter by Jupiter being the dispositor of Mars, meaning that this is relative of what the anger and violence that Mars is bringing out is about. People's strong beliefs, spiritual beliefs, political beliefs. People feel overly righteous, angry, and there will be attacks. So that's why I'm saying, please stay out of the line of fire. There will be violence that's going to be ensuing due to people's radical beliefs and judgments. This is going to happen. Now, I also find, though, that Pluto-Jupiter is enormous power. And you have this power. Individually, we can capture and use this power to transform not only what's going on out there in the world, but transform your life. I'm telling you, this is an incredible time to be alive on this planet. Now, by November 14th, remember I said this is when Mars is going to station. When a planet stations, it's changing directions, and in that process, it practically stands still, and everything that planet's about becomes intensified. So anger, violence, Mars is about weapons, are going to come about. And I know there's going to be total, people dealing with weapons. If they're being taken away, people are going to go crazy with weapons. That's what I'm seeing, the anger and the emotion. And remember, we're coming to another eclipse season. When we have eclipses, it always brings up something we didn't know, number one, from the past. Number two, it creates earthquakes and violent storms. And not only that, more accidents. And you're going to see more fires come about. The world is coming unglued. Now, November, let's see here. I'm looking at November 15th. This is the time of the new moon. And this is, let me see, yes, it's going to be in Libra. And it's 29 degrees. Whenever a planet is at that last mark, the last degree, 29 degrees, oh my God, it's like right before a transition. And Libra is the sign of balance and peace, but sometimes when we have Libra, things become out of balance. Things are out of control. But right after this new moon, on the 15th, we're going to have the sun go into Scorpio. And when the sun goes into Scorpio, this is where things become even deeper, more profound. Remember this, Scorpio is the sign of research, analysis, going to the core and the bottom of things. And the things that are going to be dredged up and uncovered will blow your mind, because this is where truth is coming out. And let me just say that there will be a lot of truth coming out about the coronavirus, where that's headed, where we're headed, and what we're going to discover about its origins. And that's going to shake the world. That's going to change a lot. So we're going to get to the bottom of all of this and what we've been plagued with and what we haven't been told for so long, most of all. By November 16th, Venus will enter Libra. And that will be a great relief, because Venus being in Virgo all the way up into that point in time is in its debilitation sign, and it doesn't work well. People are not feeling very kind or appreciative of one another. They're being very angry and violent and nasty. And when Venus goes into Libra, people start to stand back and start to realize their angers, their hates, and what they can start to do to change it. This is just a beginning. And Venus in Libra, by the way, is wonderful for relationships. So even though there can be havoc going on in the world, there's no reason why you can't open your heart to love and appreciation with your partner. And that's what Venus in Libra will bring about. Now, November 17th, Mercury will oppose Uranus. This is like a breakthrough of thoughts and thinking. It will be 3 degrees of Libra Aries. This is the sign where there's so much that's about to unfold. Uranus in Aries, and we have Mercury in Libra. Now, Mercury in Libra, it's coming together to where Ketu in Scorpio, it's going to evolve. You'll see that by the end of the month, one thing after another will unfold, and there's going to be mass change all within 1 month. Because here's where I think the big turning point is. The big turning point is, well, first of all, with Mercury opposing Uranus, there'll be discoveries about healing and health, how we can major miraculous discoveries on how we can heal. Another thing is on November 20th. That is when Jupiter will go into Capricorn. And because there's so much change happening all in 1 month, I keep saying wherever we think the elections are, they're going to change. They cannot be where we just know and we're done with it. No, something is always being revved up and brought to the surface, one thing after another. And when Jupiter goes into Capricorn, that's the big transformation. That will be November 20th. It will be in Capricorn till April 5th of 2021. Within that 5 months, you're going to see the economy shift. You're going to see everything to do with jobs, with So many positives are going to start evolve. Now, don't think that on the 20th it all happens. Everyone thinks when I say something, I mean on that day. No, this is where we're starting to get our feet wet and move into Jupiter being in Capricorn. Yes, Jupiter in Capricorn's debilitated and it's a very bad place for it, but combined with Saturn in Capricorn, it's good because it pretty much cancels that debilitation. And Jupiter in Capricorn will start to create a trinal aspect to Rahu, which is going to build and give greater sense of security in money, the economy, the stock market. Everything will start to shift and change. And who we think the president is could change at that time as well. So don't get too caught up with at the beginning of the month. If you think you know, you don't. Things are going to transpire and change radically while Jupiter goes into Capricorn. And then by November 27th, when Venus opposes Uranus, this could be the time that you could start that new unexpected love affair, because that's excitement, that's love and appreciation for other people. And even globally in the world, this could bring great healing towards peace. Towards peace. Venus is in Libra. And there will be some amazing peace acts that come about. Now, by November 28th, this is the time that Mercury will go into Scorpio. And when this happens, this means that Mercury is coming together closer and closer to the eclipse degree. Because on the solar eclipse that will happen in December, on December 14th, Mercury is exactly conjunct that eclipse degree. That's profound. You have no idea where this is taking us in terms of the uncovering of all the things that have been repressed from us globally. And yes, I am talking about aliens. Yes, I am talking about all the historical events that have been secret and there's been no answers. They're all coming. So if you think this corruption is coming about one political candidate, it is everyone. It's the government. It's all been corruption. And everything we've been told is different than what you think. So if anything comes out of this month and this eclipse that's going to be happening in December, the thing that I'm seeing is most of all, it's going to be the truth comes out. I mean, major prospects towards the truth that you never ever thought possible. And they're coming. So November 28th, Mercury goes into Scorpio and it's starting to come together with K2. And Mercury is communications, what we need, what we're about to learn and know. And going into Scorpio is discoveries, okay? And by the 29th and 29th, Neptune, 29th of November, Neptune stations. And that means everything coming to a head with the deception, the deceit, the corruption, and secrets. This is global. Don't forget, this is taking in the world. And I want you to know that this is even going to affect China, big time, corruption, connection between all the governments and how they've been working together all of this time. Throughout the past. Throughout the past. This is not just the last 4 years. This is going way back. And we're going to uncover and hopefully transform the world into an entirely different government that works on the truth instead of corruption. And is for the people, not for those in power, most of all. So there are a couple of countries that I thought I might mention that I happen to see that this eclipse in Scorpio is going to affect profoundly. And one of them is China. I'll tell you right now, China is going to be deeply affected. I've watched the world leaders and their charts relative to where this eclipse is going, and China is one. Another that's coming under great stress and pressure, and with their leader, is Turkey. Wait and see. This eclipse season, which actually starts on the 30th of November, and for those 2 weeks till about the 14th of December, you're going to see major things hit the world. It is not only hitting the United States, but definitely going to take charge and be a worldwide crisis. This is a time when people will be violent everywhere. Don't let it affect you in your personal life. So one of the things that I want to talk about is the message that I'm here to give you from this month, what we're here to learn. Yes, it is about healing. And as I said before, I now have some pieces of jewelry that you can use to do your affirmations, to remind you, to put your power into, to change your life. This is what you can do. Remember, you are the one that can heal. Only you can heal your life. And that has enormous repercussions on the world. As we come from a place of peace within our hearts, it will be reflected into the world. So what is the message that I'm here to give all of you truth seekers, all of you that come from your spiritual place to unfold and grow spiritually? The word is compassion, because the compassionate heart is the one and is the place we have to come from now, because so many people are out of control and there's so much hate, there's so much anger, and it's all based on judgment. No one likes to be judged. So we have to come from a place as truth seekers and bringers of the light to help protect and help planet Earth and humanity evolve and grow from. And that comes from compassion. What is compassion? Unconditional love from the heart for others. And what we have to come from a place from, when we come from a compassionate heart, non-judgment. So non-judgment, it really does come from a place where you come from a place of kindness, respect, and most of all, I think when you have no expectation for others and you do respect everyone out there and have a sense of love for every human being and animal on the planet. That's what we've come to evolve to. That's what we're going to be tested upon, taking away our judgment and being in a place of non-judgment. Coming from a place of love in the heart. That's kindness, appreciation. And when you do this, it will be returned to you. That's the law of the universe. So if you're putting out hate, hostility, judgment, you're going to get it right back in your face. And that's not the world I want to live in. So when you put out compassion, you feel everyone else's pain. You understand them. So what is compassion? Understanding. Coming from the heart, feeling, sensing, knowing the hurt that others feel. And putting an end to it by not judging, just understanding, being respectful, being appreciative, and giving unconditional love. That is compassion. And that is, as truth seekers and people that are going through a spiritual transformation on this planet, have to come from this place. Because this month is going to be quite the opposite. But that's the only way we can change it, by coming from this type of energetic response. And remember, we have to remind ourselves of what it is that we need, and that is in health and healing. And that is how we're going to overcome the coronavirus, overcome the mass pandemonium and protests and anger of these elections. This is the only way. Please take this to heart and practice this. You will do wonders to help this planet by coming from that place. I know I'm going to remind myself and do my affirmation work every day. And every time I look at this mala, I will do my affirmations to help the betterment of the planet and myself, because we are one, we are all. When we change ourselves, we change the planet. That is part of the vibrational frequency, and that's a power we have. We have power to change ourselves and the planet. Go and do it. So with that, I'd like to close. Remember, if you'd like to learn more about me or my new gemstones and jewelry line, please go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, I have a university. We're going to be starting some new classes towards the end of the year and into January. Brand new classes, beginnings. If you want to learn Vedic astrology, this is the answer. Go to my university website. Check it out. University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.